Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take rich source material and really pull out the most vital insights for you.
That's right.
Imagine delivering, the most important speech of your life, knowing it's your last one, to a whole nation you've led through, 40 years of wilderness. That's essentially the setup for the ancient text we're diving into today, the book of Deuteronomy. Our mission, to really extract the most potent nuggets of knowledge, the key insights from Moses' final words, to give you a powerful shortcut, sort of, to understanding what this ancient text reveals about leadership, community, and, the human condition.
Yeah, and what's so compelling about this text is that it's much more than just a historical record, right? It's Moses standing right there at this pivotal moment. He's looking back at the whole journey, but also forward to the challenges ahead. He's preparing an entirely new generation for a completely new chapter. He's essentially distilling like 4 decades of intense experience into actionable wisdom, retelling those defining moments, restating the fundamental laws meant to shape them as a people. It's really a masterclass in preparing for the future by, deeply reflecting on the past.
Okay, so the scene is set. Moses is addressing all of Israel. They're on the east side of the Jordan River. It's the 40th year of their journey, first day, 11th month. Right after they've just had these big victories over Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan. So this isn't like a clean slate, is it? It's definitely a continuation deeply rooted in their shared history.
Exactly. He's being really meticulous here, reminding them of their origins and their ultimate purpose. He recounts that powerful command given way back at Horeb, Mount Sinai, where the Lord declared, "You have stayed long enough at this mountain. Break camp and advance." It's a clear call to move forward, absolutely. But first, there's this crucial, maybe even painful, look back at some really defining moments.
What I found particularly striking reading through Moses' recount was that whole moment with the spies. At Kadesh Barnea, you'd think after everything they'd seen, everything they'd experienced, they'd be ready to trust, right? But no. Despite being told, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, the people absolutely insisted on sending spies to scout the land first. And the spies came back, they admitted, yeah, it is a good land, but then...
And then the but.
Exactly. Then they highlighted all the challenges. Stronger people, taller people, cities with walls up to the sky, including the Anakites, these guys known for being huge. And this just led to outright rebellion, didn't it? Grumbling, refusal to go up. So what were the repercussions? What happened because of that defiance?
Oh, the consequences were absolutely devastating. And they weren't just immediate either. Because of that profound lack of trust, that open rebellion, the Lord swore that not a man of this evil generation shall see the good land. Just flat out. The only exception mentioned right there is Caleb, because he truly believed. And get this, even Moses himself was barred from entering. The text says explicitly because of you, because of the people's rebellion and, how it ultimately affected his own actions later. Instead, Joshua, son of Nun, he would be the one to lead them in. And even the children, the ones who do not yet know good from bad, they would inherit the land, which really highlights that the consequences were, generational.
Wow. And then, the story takes another tragic turn, doesn't it? After being explicitly told not to go up and fight because, quote, "I will not be with you," they just stubbornly did it anyway. In your arrogance, the text says.
Yeah.
And the Amorites just chased them down like a swarm of bees, resulting in this crushing defeat. And that led to them staying stuck in Kadesh for many days, all the time he spent there, just stuck.
Right. And that defeat, that really marked the beginning of a long, arduous period of wandering, just going in circles almost.
Yes.
The text details their route, this circuitous path around the hill country of Seir, through the territories of Esau and Moab. And it's stated so clearly, 38 years passed from the time we left Kadesh Barnea until we crossed the Zered Valley. 38 years. By then, that entire rebellious generation, all the fighting men, they had perished from the camp, exactly as the Lord had sworn. It's just such a stark illustration of how one act of disobedience, of distrust, can profoundly alter the destiny of an entire generation.
But it wasn't all wandering and defeat in those final years, right? Before they actually crossed the Jordan into the main promised land, Moses recounts some pretty significant victories too. They overcame Sihon, the king of Heshbon, who refused them peaceful passage, and then Og, the king of Bashan.
Right. Those are key.
Both kings, their people, men, women, children, completely destroyed, it says, though the Israelites did take their livestock in the plunder. So this land east of the Jordan, stretching from the Arnon Gorge way up to Mount Hermon, that was taken and then divided among the Reubenites, Gadites, and the half-tribe of Manasseh.
And the importance of those pre-Jordan victories, it really can't be overstated. They served as this tangible precedent, proof almost, of divine assistance. Moses tells Joshua, look, you have seen with your own eyes all that the Lord your God has done to these two kings. The Lord will do the same to all the kingdoms over there where you are going. It's a direct link. Do not be afraid of them. The Lord your God himself will fight for you. It fundamentally reframes their future challenges, you see. It positions them within this established history of powerful divine intervention. They've seen it work.
Okay, so after recounting all that significant history, Moses doesn't just, dwell on the past. He immediately pivots. He turns his attention straight to the bedrock of their identity for this new generation standing before him. He addresses them directly. Hear now, O Israel, the decrees and laws I am about to teach you. Follow them so that you may live and may go in and take possession of the land. Simple as that. And he meticulously, carefully reiterates the Ten Commandments, reminding them that God spoke face to face out of the fire on the mountain back at Horeb.
Right, and one of the most unique aspects here, I think, is the emphasis on that direct revelation, how they experienced it. They heard God's voice from the middle of the fire, yet they saw no physical form, none at all. And this absence of a visual representation, it's absolutely crucial. It leads directly to that uncompromising command against idolatry. Do not make for yourselves an idol, an image of any shape whatsoever. Moses reminds them, the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. Strong words. And then he asks this profound, really rhetorical question. What other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him? It just completely sets Israel apart from every other nation around them at that time.
Yeah, that's powerful. And beyond just the specific commandments, Moses really stresses this core principle, the Shema, right? It begins, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. But, and this is key, it's not just meant to be some internal feeling, is it? It's meant to be actively integrated into the very fabric of their lives, every single day.
Exactly. Integration is the word.
He instructs them, impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up, basically all the time. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the doorframes of your houses and on your gates. It's about making this foundational truth a constant, visible, tangible presence across generations, too.
And why? Why is this integration so absolutely critical? Well, because the text then lays out these incredibly clear, incredibly dramatic consequences based entirely on their choices. If they obey, blessings will follow, like specific blessings, prosperity in the city and in the country, abundant rain, successful harvest, even dominance over other nations. They'll be the head, not the tail. But if they disobey, curses will ensue. And these are terrifying. Disease, defeat, famine, exile, mental anguish, even, this horrific scenario of resorting to cannibalism during a siege. It's brutal. It's presented as this undeniable, stark choice. Look, I am setting before you today a blessing and a curse. The blessing if you obey, the curse if you disobey. The choice is theirs.
And it's not just about these huge sweeping pronouncements either, is it? As we delve further into the text, we uncover Moses giving these remarkably detailed instructions for their society. He's setting up the actual structure of justice and governance. He commands them, appoint judges and officials for each of your tribes in every town, and they shall judge the people fairly. That's the core mandate. Do not pervert justice or show partiality. Do not accept a bribe. Very clear ethical lines, and for particularly difficult cases, the really tricky ones, they're instructed to go to the priests and judges at the central place God chooses for his name. There's a clear process.
Yeah, and what's particularly insightful about this legal code, I find, is its nuanced approach. It balances justice and mercy in interesting ways.
Right.
For instance, unintentional killing.
Mm-hmm.
If someone kills accidentally, they can flee to specific cities of refuge to save their life from an avenger of blood. That offers a crucial distinction, a safety valve. However, for intentional murder, premeditated killing, there's no pity. The perpetrator must die. It's a firm line. The law also meticulously requires 2 or 3 witnesses for a conviction, never just one. That's a huge safeguard against false accusation. And it even specifies a unique punishment for a malicious witness. They actually receive the very punishment they intended for the accused, which is, quite something. It's about establishing a very specific, fair, and just system.
And beyond just the legal structure, the text reveals this profound focus on community care, which frankly feels quite radical for its time. You've got the year for canceling debts every 7 years, specifically for fellow Israelites. Though, interestingly, foreigners could still be asked for payment.
Right, that's an important distinction.
They're commanded to be open-handed and freely lend to the poor among them. And there's this strong warning against harboring the wicked thought, as it calls it, of holding back just before that debt cancellation year kicks in. Don't be calculating about it.
Generosity is key.
Yeah, and if a Hebrew servant serves for 6 years, they absolutely must be released in the 7th year. And not just released, but sent away generously supplied, not empty-handed.
And it's really striking how many of these social laws, these commands about compassion and fairness, are explicitly tied back to their collective memory, their own history. The commands about releasing servants, the rules for helping the poor, the alien, the fatherless, the widow, they're so consistently prefaced with, remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Remember where you came from. It really raises a fascinating question for us, doesn't it? How does a society's past suffering, its collective trauma, but also its liberation, how does that directly inform and shape its ethical framework? It's compassion for the vulnerable today. It's a powerful, direct connection between historical identity and present social responsibility. And then, the laws get really granular, almost quirky, sometimes to our modern ears. Things like a woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wear women's clothing, specific dress codes. If you're building a new house, you need a parapet around your roof, a little wall to prevent accidents, prevent bloodshed, practical safety.
Very practical, yeah. You can't plow with an ox and a donkey yoked together. Can't wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. And then there's this very specific one. Do not cook a young goat in its mother's milk, which has had a lot of interpretation over the years.
Well, what's truly fascinating about these seemingly disparate rules, from roof safety to clothing blends to cooking methods, is how they illustrate this remarkably holistic vision for society. It wasn't just about the big pronouncements. It was a meticulous blueprint for daily life that really sought to differentiate Israel, to instill a unique identity in every small act, even down to the very fabric they wore or how they prepared food. The food laws, for instance, they carefully find which animals are clean for consumption. Like land animals need a split hoof and chew the cud, water creatures need fins and scales, very specific markers. And while some groups, like Ammonites and Moabites, were excluded from the assembly of the Lord for historical reasons, there's also this surprising inclusiveness in other cases. Egyptians and Edomites could be allowed in after 3 generations. And there's that clear command to love the alien, the foreigner, specifically because you yourselves were aliens in Egypt. It shows this commitment to identity, yes, absolutely, but also this undercurrent of remembering their own outsider status. It's complex.
Okay, so as this whole address nears its end, Moses, who's now 120 years old, he declares, I am no longer able to lead you. The Lord has said to me, you shall not cross the Jordan. I mean, that must have been such a poignant, heavy moment.
Immensely so.
He then publicly commissions Joshua, tells him right in front of everyone, be strong and courageous, for you must go with this people into the land, and you must divide it among them, passing the torch. And the promise given to Joshua, but really through him to all the people, it's incredibly reassuring. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. That's the foundation for the future.
And a crucial theme that really emerges right here at the end is the absolute priority placed on preserving the law itself.
Yeah.
The words. Moses writes down this law, the teachings he's been giving, and entrusts it to the priests, the Levites, and the elders, the guardians of the tradition. And then he issues this remarkable command. At the end of every 7 years, in the year for canceling debts during the Feast of Tabernacles, this entire law, all of it, must be read aloud. Read aloud to all Israel, men, women, children, and even the foreigners, the aliens living among them. Everyone hears it together, and the purpose is explicit, so they can listen, learn, and fear the Lord your God. It's designed to be this constant, cyclical, communal witness, ensuring that the foundational principles are never forgotten by any generation. It's built into their calendar.
And the narrative then shifts, doesn't it, to this striking poetic instruction directly from God. Moses is told to write a song, and not just write it, but teach it to the Israelites so that it may be a witness for me against them. A song as a witness.
That's right.
This Song of Moses, which we find in chapter 32, it's this incredibly powerful, almost prophetic summary. It contrasts God's unwavering faithfulness with Israel's past and, their predicted future rebellion.
Yeah, the song truly paints the full spectrum, doesn't it? Divine character and human response side by side. It reiterates God's perfection. His works are perfect and all his ways are just, while at the same time starkly calling Israel a warped and crooked generation. It doesn't pull punches. It beautifully describes God caring for them, nurturing them like an eagle that stirs up its nest, protecting them. Yet it also unflinchingly foresees their future idolatry, turning away, and the subsequent calamities that will inevitably follow those choices. But even amidst all these dire warnings of judgment, there's this persistent thread of divine compassion running through it, a promise that God will eventually have compassion on his servants. It's a remarkable testament to both God's justice and his enduring love. It holds both in tension.
And so our deep dive today kind of closes where Deuteronomy itself closes, with Moses ascending Mount Nebo up to the top of Pisgah. And there, the Lord grants him this incredible panoramic view of the entire Promised Land, from Gilead to Dan, all the land of Judah as far as the Western Sea. He sees it all. But just as the Lord had declared earlier, he would only see it from a distance. He wouldn't enter. Moses dies right there in Moab at 120 years old, and there's that powerful detail. Yet his eyes were not weak nor his strength gone, still vital.
Remarkable detail.
The Israelites grieve for him for 30 days, standard mourning period, and the text offers this powerful final statement, really underscoring his unique status. No prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, unparalleled.
Yeah, that passage really prompts you to reflect on Moses' unique legacy, doesn't it? What does it truly mean that he knew God face to face, that he performed such miraculous signs and wonders? It absolutely highlights his unparalleled role as an intermediary, as a leader. His direct access to the divine just set him apart, no question. But his death isn't just an ending. It unequivocally marks the end of one era and the definite beginning of another. And it places the enormous responsibility squarely, firmly on the shoulders of the new generation, Joshua and the people. It's up to them now to choose life, as the text says, by diligently obeying these commands he's just laid out. It's a really profound handover of destiny, of responsibility.
Wow. We've taken a truly profound deep dive today, haven't we? Right into the core of Deuteronomy, Moses' final pivotal address to a nation literally on the brink of a new chapter. We explored the deep lessons drawn from their challenging past, didn't we? We looked at the intricate laws forming the actual blueprint for their society. And we confronted that stark, life-altering choice laid before them between blessings and curses. It's such a powerful testament, I think, to the importance of remembering history, of upholding justice, and, that enduring tension between human choices, human obedience or disobedience, and divine faithfulness.
Absolutely. And maybe this deep dive leaves us, and leaves you listening, with a provocative thought that kind of stretches across the millennia. Moses urged the Israelites, commanded them, acknowledge and take to heart this day that the Lord is God in heaven above and on the earth below. There is no other. Know this truth. And then later, in chapter 30, he issues that profound command. Now choose life so that you and your children may live. So the question becomes, maybe, what does it mean for you today to choose life in a world just saturated with choices, with information, with paths you could take? And how do these ancient principles, responsibility, community, consequences, how do they resonate, or how should they resonate in our modern decision-making? Something to think about.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep getting well informed.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.